things ain't what they used to be. But I mainly just want to say, if you got white friends, don't drink with them, okay? Don't go off alone and drink with them. If you're gonna drink with them, do it at a club. When it's time to go your way. Do not go isolated with them and go to that house up in the woods somewhere. Do not do it. I mean, there are good white people, but for some strange reason, since Trump got office, they fell back another 60, 70 years. Okay, now they're even more emboldened. And your little white friends could be easily manipulated into hate. Not only by the groups, but they got that internet as well. And they know how to play it off. Me as a young man, I had a lot of white friends. But I realized I lost them when I started drinking with them. Believe me, I don't know why they cool as hell. As soon as you drink with them, they are different people. You're a nigga. You are a nigga. So I'm advise you, my brothers, and my little sisters, just don't go off with them. They smile, they laugh, but these people change when they have alcohol in their systems. And not only that, like I said, times are changing, and they scared, and they don't know how to act. And with Trump being their president, boy, you see how they act. They losing their damn minds, because they're realizing the world is bigger than what they thought it was. And all they know how to do now is fear. You think if they was worried about being a lower race, they would act better. But no, because that's just in their genes. That's all they know. So whatever you do, I don't give a damn how cool they are. Don't go off of a group with them. Call yourself partying, because you might not come back. Take my word on that. I experienced it, and that's when I quit drinking with white people. So, take my word. Chill out. They could be your friends, but don't go out drinking with them. Don't go nowhere far by yourself with a group of them. I'm telling you this, my young brothers and sisters, because times have changed. So do me that favor. Have some damn sense. And do not wander off with a group of white people. Don't give a fuck how cool they are. Keep it real. Peace.
Shalom. As you can see, I got another lesson coming from the brother out his mouth. It's just one of those things where you can't forget your history. The brother's on point with everything he's saying. And he can tell you he lived through it. Right? When you're dealing with E, man, you out here kicking it, having a good time, you think, and you decide to go off where they want you to go, secluded areas, over their house, and back and forth, back and forth. They never come over your house, but you always going over their house. And what you got to kind of realize is that he ain't to be trusted, man. You let the smooth taste fool you. You want to go out and party with them just by yourself. You feel like, man, they just like the Negroes. You'll figure it out. But they always seem to surprise us, or surprise the ones that they fooled. So let's read the scripture right here. This is Psalm chapter 55, verse 21. The words in his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Just like that young man out in Mississippi. When you think about it, they just rocked him to sleep, man. And then, you know, his parents, or, you know, his dad, I would say, especially, I mean, it seems to me, I'm not going to put nothing on the man, but there's some questions in the air. And we know how these folks get down with these organizations. And we know how sometimes could be, you know, sacrifice. But I'm not going to put that on them because I don't have enough information. But going about how it's publicly broadcast and everything, it ain't far-fetched. You know, but with that being said, they rocked him to sleep, man. You know, if you can see the picture when they seemed like the boat on the boat, when they seemed like they might have been going to the island. He was in the middle, had his hands around them, hugging them, smiling, all cheers all cheers, all smiles. But something happened. And hey, whatever happened was detrimental to his life. I mean, they couldn't have been much of more friends. And was it that serious? Probably wasn't. Right? You got this big mass cover up. And really, a lot of time the Lord do this just to show us what's really going on. For the people who might be on the fence, they can see what's really going on. They can see that, dang, man, I can do this right. I can be this good law-abiding citizen, and these people will still kill me and murder me because of my skin tone. Yeah. So, that's why the scripture says you don't supposed to forget the past. Never forget the past, man. I don't care what your mom and your dad say. Your mom and dad want you to forget slavery. They want you to forget this, forget that. They trying to rock you to sleep, man. I mean, hey, it's wicked, man. But let's continue. So, with that being said, let's bring out another scripture. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped a looking glass. Thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. This man ain't changed. His kids ain't changed. They just upset. The brother hit on dead on point of what they're upset about. We all know what they're upset about. Stuff changing and they can't take it. So they will continue to put their foot on Jake's neck, man. So that's why we tell our people to come back to the Most High, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah. Excuse me. It's lucky. So with that being said, you know, we just gotta come back to the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. The God of these scriptures. Because that's your only salvation, that's your only safety. You know? And so, with that being said, hey, you better beware, take heed. Let's get into another scripture before we get up out of here. And, you know, a lot of times when we tell the young men and women of the nation that, hey, man, it's you got to come back to your people, man. We got to start showing love, man, to one another. We got to overlook. And I know that I'm talking to myself too, man. It's hard to deal with these Negroes when you got to, overlook this, overlook that. And then you have our youngins that be growing up in these suburban places or these considered nice areas. And what they do, they already in the neighborhood, so they be want to be friends with these boys. And sometimes they don't come back alive. And so, stick with our people, man. I understand that a lot of us poor and they got a lot of toys and things that we might not have, access to stuff that we might not have. But with that being said, you got to stick to your own, man. Because when you get around them and them drinks start going and the kiki and having a so-called good time, them nigga jokes coming. So let's read Jeremiah 2, verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love. Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Salaki, let's read that again. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. You know, why would you trim your ways, man? Why would you, overlook everything just to be able to get around these people and have what you considered quality, quiet moments in time? It's just like when our people, it's like we just dealing with a lot of curses, man. And really the only thing we can do is come back to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Because that's the only thing, man. These curses are too heavy for us, man. And there's no solution that you can do on your own to be able to dodge these curses, for lack of better words. It's ugly, man. So with that being said, until the next one, all I can say is keep your heads up, stay on the swivel, and most importantly, keep your prayers and your faith in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah.